James. Whoa, happy birthday, James. Whoa, let's have a fun podcast for your birthday. It's gonna be a fun day because it's your birthday.
Oh boy, that's like a real song too. That's the sad part about it.
I know, right?
That's the scary part about it. That's like a real song.
Yeah, that's the upsetting thing about AI. But I had to do it. I had to make a song.
See, you if you wouldn't have told me that, I would have thought that was Joel. I would have thought you just put some stuff on top of it.
Oh God, no, I'm not that good. I came up with the lyrics.
You good enough? Yeah, if I something Joel would do.
Yeah, I mean, if I told him in time, he probably would have like recorded something.
True.
But yeah, happy birthday.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We are back for 2025. We've back for a real recording in 2025. That is.
Yeah, all right.
The On the Go show has returned, and yeah, man. How was your holidays?
It was fine.
Yeah.
I just did a lot of watching and stuff like that. Watching TV.
Yeah,
and watching movies.
You watch anything interesting other than the two things we're going to talk about later? Like,
Did I? I want to say I didn't, but I because around about the holiday time, it was kind of like a lot of sport watching. So I watched a lot of sports. So it was just a lot of playoffs and stuff like that.
Did you watch what was it? The Texans? It was a Christmas Day. The Texans on Netflix.
Yeah, massacre. Oh, that was terrible.
Yeah, that was a bad.
Can you imagine paying for those tickets and just wanting to see Beyonce and that was it?
Oh yeah. 100%.
I heard Beyonce really wanted good. I didn't watch the game or anything like that. I don't think I was watching the movie, but I saw like the highlights. It looked interesting.
I'm not a big fan. Like, I don't listen to Beyonce's music, obviously, but I do appreciate the time and energy she puts into putting a show on.
Oh yeah, me too. I definitely appreciate that
Because, like, I don't know, she puts a lot of work in it. Like, she's always got a marching band. I noticed. Like,
yeah,
she's always got some sort of marching band with her, and I don't know. It was a great performance. Like, she had Shabuzi and Post Malone joined her, I think.
Oh, for real? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, because they all have a country song now.
Man, I ain't no Post Malone. I definitely would have been here for it. I love Post Malone.
Yeah, he showed up for one of her songs, and then Shabuzi was there, and then. Well, Post Malone was apparently in, I guess, like in Houston, that week or that weekend or whatever, because like the night before or on Christmas Eve, I think he left like a waitress like a $20,000 tip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a big story I saw recently. So I guess
okay.
he was probably in for the Beyonce Bowl, as they call it.
Beyonce Bowl.
Yeah, like they were giving out wristbands with like Beyonce Bowl written on
cool.
written on it. Yeah. So.
That's pretty much what it was, right?
Yeah,
the football game. It really wasn't much of a football game.
Yeah, the football game was pretty bad. So my family came over for Christmas. They came to visit. We hosted Christmas for them, and that was the first time like I watched a live thing on Netflix because I refuse. I don't know to give into the Netflix live thing.
Oh well, you on your own with that one because I watched WWE Raw.
Yeah,
live,
no, so. About WWE Raw, the only highlights I've seen from that are Hulk Hogan getting booed. And then it was like Netflix has just been putting out a bunch of photos of all the celebrities they paid to be there.
Yeah.
Like Macaulay Culkin and the Boy Meets World cast.
Well, I mean, I think this episode in particular was pretty much for the investors and the sponsors.
Right.
And then I think next week they'll get back to actually,
doing the show.
Wrestling, and giving us good stories, getting back to continuing the stories that were on the regular cable show.
Okay. I guess that makes sense because it's like, oh, this is the first one out. So, and then you got to make up for the fact that like the Mike Tyson fight was awful, like awfully transmitted. So you're just, please let this transmit right.
Oh yeah. I mean, for the most part, WWE's never really had a problem with transmitting anything like that. They've always been good at that stuff. Because when they had Peacock, they never really had that much trouble.
Yeah.
Now when they had their own network, is when they had their troubles.
Oh.
Yeah. When they had their own network, that's when they had their troubles.
I see. Okay. That's interesting. But yeah, the only highlights I've seen are just like, oh, we've had all these celebrities here.
Yeah.
And then
some really are wrestler fans.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure. Like, I'm not knocking it, but it's just kind of funny where it's like, we've had all these people here. And then Hulk
It's
Hogan.
coming though. A lot more streaming services are going to be having a lot more lives.
Yeah,
That's
man.
for sure.
It's coming back to live TV. That's what's happening.
It does kind of help too for WWE's purposes. I kind of like that they're on Netflix because they can go a little bit longer. Because on cable you can't go longer.
That is true. Netflix doesn't have like a time constraint.
Yeah, they don't have a strong time restraint. But you still have to end it. But you don't have to end it at that. Let's say the show goes off at 9:00.
Right.
You have to end it at 9:00.
Right.
Football is the only thing. It's the only thing that gets away with extending later. Football and basketball are only two sports, sports period, that they get away with where you can extend your time.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I understand how you feel. I understand how you feel about live formats on Netflix, but it's just don't be a thing of the future.
No, that's true. It's definitely true, but
Gotta adapt.
You've got mail.
I want to talk about this email we got from Zach while we were on break, James. And it's old news by now, but it's kind of new news to me anyway. So Zach emailed in. He said, "Hey guys, so with Nolan coming out and saying what the next movie is, while I would be very interested to see age range numbers, what the age range will be for the movie, like if more teenagers see it or if more older people see it, because Homer's Odyssey is a timeless tale. So I was wondering what you guys think about this." I guess he's asking like what the age range of like viewers, like the demographic of the viewers who are going to go see this movie, because Odyssey is it's an older story. I mean, it's been around for centuries, but
yeah, it's been around for centuries. This is like one of the biggest books. It's a big book.
Yeah, it's a huge book. So he's interested to see like if more older people are going to go watch it, or if like a younger side are going to go watch it.
It's going to be more of an older generation.
I think so too. But I also feel like Christopher Nolan's movies aren't really predicated to like a teenage crowd anyway.
Nah.
Outside of the Dark Knight movies, like the Batman films.
I think Tenet kind of brought out a younger crowd.
Possibly so. I'll agree with you there. So yeah, I think just based off of what I've seen from Nolan before, I feel like he just has an older demographic.
Yeah, it's always been their way.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think the Odyssey is gonna change that or anything like that, because I mean, this also isn't a new rendition of the Odyssey. Like we've always had retellings of the Odyssey. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? From back in the day. That's the Odyssey.
Yep. You're right.
In a Southern perspective, and like not modern, but like semi-modern. When you think about it.
I like that movie too, bro. What Brother Out There with George Clooney. I like that movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie. It's got a good song.
Yeah, it does. It does. I think I have one of the young co-workers that I work with, and he's a little bit He's what's the word? Not pessimistic. Is it pessimistic?
Pessimistic is negative. Optimistic is positive.
Yeah, I think he's like a little bit pessimistic because he likes Christopher Nolan. He doesn't love Christopher Nolan. And he loves Odyssey. It's one of his favorite books.
Yeah.
And he's just a little bit worried on how he's going to do such a monumental movie like this, and the cast is in it. It's just
right.
Look, I do love Matt Damon. Matt Damon is an incredible actor, but Odysseus. I'm not saying for sure he's playing Odysseus, but he's going to be the headliner for sure in this one.
Yeah, I mean, he is the bigger name. I feel like you would make Tom Holland Odysseus, but Tom Holland doesn't...
It would make sense to make him.
It would, but also Tom Holland doesn't have, like, that big of a star power. I heard the other day, he hasn't actually acted in anything in, like, 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Like...
I mean, he has, like... I think he done, like, some very, very, very indie style movies that really wasn't that good.
Yeah. And maybe like a Netflix film. No, well, the Netflix movie was like back in 2020. The one he did with Robert Pattinson, the one about the devil or whatever. Yeah, so I think he would be the lead, but like I said, he doesn't have a whole lot of star power. And then Anne Hathaway's in it.
Yeah, Anne Hathaway, Robert Pattinson.
Oh yeah,
it's like a all-star cast. I think even Robert Downey Jr. I think he's bringing him back too as well.
Yeah. I mean, I can see all those people appearing as like, some Greek character or another.
Well, what's her name was in it? Lupita.
Oh, Lupita Nyong'o?
Yep, she's in there too as well.
Oh, is that her first Nolan film?
I want to say so. Yeah, I think so.
I'd believe it. Oh, Zendaya's in it. Charlize Theron. Yeah,
Yep,
there's a
she's in
lot
it
of
too.
there's a lot of big names in this, and
Yeah.
when you do have all these big names, it is a question of like, well, how much screen time are they going to get? Because Odysseus comes across a wide array of characters on his way back home, so it's like how long are each of these people going to be playing whatever characters they are?
And how long is the movie going to be?
How long is the movie going to be? It's probably going to be another 3-hour movie because that's.
Which I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. You can never make a movie too long and never make a movie too short. Like if the movie's too long and it's good, I'll take that any day of the week. If it's too short and it's bad, then you got a problem on your hands.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
But I mean, I'm excited for it. I love Greek mythology, so as soon as I heard it was the Odyssey, I was like, oh, that's gonna be fun. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, me too. And this is his first time doing a Greek mythology movie.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess he was gonna get to it eventually because he's done sci-fi, he's done thrillers, he's kind of been everywhere in the genre, or across multiple genres, right? Yeah, that's the phrase.
Well, he usually always does like a lot of sci-fi, a lot of a lot of sci-fi, other world thinking. Mind thinking.
Yeah, there's always something else to it, right? Like in Inception, there was something else to it. In Interstellar, there was something else. Tenet.
What was another movie he did back in the day when he was first getting started?
You got The Prestige and Memento.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Memento.
Yeah. That was backwards. That was a backwards movie, right? So,
yeah. Mm-hmm. So he's always kind of done those type of movies. And then Oppenheimer was his first movie where it tackled somebody that was actually real.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And then even the way he did that movie, right? Because like, what scenes that were present day, or no, what was it? The black and white scenes were like the court scenes or something. I don't know. There was a significance with how certain scenes were done. I remember hearing about that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll see what he does with it. I'm excited. Like I said, I think you're right. I think an older crowd is going to be more likely for this. It's just because like I don't think Christopher Nolan's films really appeal to like a younger crowd anyway, outside of Batman. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is like a late teen, early adult to older adult movie.
Me either. No, I wouldn't be surprised either.
Thank you for the email. It means a lot to me.
Hey, what's your New Year's resolution?
I'm going to listen to more On the Go with Jacob and James. What about you?
I'm gonna stop robbing nuns.
Oh, that's a good one.
All right. So let's move on here. Sonic 3. We didn't get a chance to talk about Sonic 3 because we had the break in the holidays and everything, and I know it's kind of old news by now, but I wanted to talk about it because I've seen it, you've seen it. I really enjoyed it. What did you think of the movie?
I enjoyed it too. I thought this was probably my favorite one out of because I like the second one, but I like the third one more. I like this one more. I compare this one more to the first one.
I really liked how this one just got into the plot really quickly. Like as soon as the movie started, it was already going. Like we didn't get, they're hanging out at home and they're a happy family, and then Shadow shows up. No, it's from the beginning. And Joel pointed out something about these movies that he likes, and he said he likes that the little end credit scene, or I guess it's not an end credit scene, but like, when the movie ends and then the credits kind of play for a little bit and then it shows another scene. He likes how the next movie immediately picks up where that scene leaves off. Because he's like, if you watch these movies at home, they flow in together very well because the first movie ends and then the scene where Tails shows up happens, and then you start the next movie, the movie starts, and then like 5 minutes into it, Tails shows up, they re-show that scene.
Yeah.
And then
it kind of reminds you of kind of like Pokemon, when Pokemon, they will always pick up where the episode left off. So it's always the to be continued.
Yeah. And then the second movie leaves off with like, they show Shadow waking up, and then the third movie opens with like Shadow waking up and busting out and all that stuff. Like I said, or like Joel said, it flows together very well. I enjoyed the movie. When we watched it in theaters and it ended, I came to the realization that this is going to be the next Fast and Furious franchise.
Yeah, I was going to get to that. I was going to get to that.
It follows the same traits.
It follows the same trait. Like I say, I love the action. I love the Dr. Robotnik, he was cool. Jim Carrey, he's great. I felt like Sonic was a little bit. He started to get a little bit on my nerves, just a tad bit.
Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah, and I never thought I would actually say that about Sonic because I love Sonic, but he's starting to. His character itself is starting to get on my nerves a little bit. He's starting to become a real douchebag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How so? What's your example?
I think in this one the jokes didn't land as much as I really wanted them to. The jokes, the little quivers here and there, it didn't land like it needed to in this one. And it just came off more of us being just a real douchebag.
I see.
It's just like, okay, man, we get it.
That's interesting.
We get it. So
see, I didn't think too much about what he was saying. Honestly, I really didn't think about that. But yeah, that's neat. That's interesting.
Yeah, the jokes didn't really land for me. I am a little concerned about how many characters you're going to keep introducing into this franchise and how many people going to keep doing anti-heroes.
Yep.
Now, we know Knuckles was going to be anti. We already knew that.
Yeah.
If you watch Sonic, you already knew that.
Yeah.
Shadow, same thing. You already knew that.
Mm-hmm.
But as you go along, are we going to have definitive villains that we don't have to work with?
Outside of Robotnik, right?
Outside of Robotnik.
I mean, Robotnik is your number one villain. There's not too many villains in the Sonic universe, I feel like. There are enough. But yeah, it's like, how many of these anti-heroes are you going to do? Okay, so for the next movie, it seems like they're finally introducing Metal Sonic.
Metal Sonic.
Which I'm surprised. I was a little surprised he wasn't introduced in this one. I don't know. I expected him to show up in the last movie, and I expected him to show up in this movie. But we're finally going to get him in the fourth movie. We get Amy. Amy's going to come around in the fourth movie. So automatically, you got another ally, right?
Yep.
Obviously, I don't think Metal Sonic's going to join the team because Metal Sonic is straight bad.
He's straight. He's straight a bad guy, so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
He's a straight shooter, straight bad guy, so we don't have to worry about that. We're good on that one.
Yeah, but we're getting the introduction to Amy, and it's kind of a question of like, okay, are you going to introduce any other characters in the next game? I have a feeling in the next movie, they're going to go back to Sonic's homeworld. I think that's the next step. Because we've seen,
has to be, right?
Yeah, we've seen 3 movies of them on Earth. We've seen them save Earth like 2 or 3 times already. The next step is to get Sonic back home, because from there, I imagine Dr. Robotnik's still alive. I don't think he died in that explosion, or it's a very real possibility they can just write him back in, right?
Sure.
So I think the way they would do that is you explain that the explosion warped him to Sonic's homeworld, and then from there he started taking over. Because if you remember the video games, part of the story in the video games was Robotnik was turning the little furry creatures into robots, and that's why when you smash them as Sonic, little bunnies and stuff would hop out of them because you're freeing them from the robots.
Yeah.
So I see that being implemented in the next movie where Robotnik took over Sonic's homeworld. He's turning everything into robots. Hence, that's why we get Metal Sonic showing up. That's why we get Amy showing up. So I just wonder if you're going to meet other characters, because you got like Rouge the Bat, and you got Cream, and you got Big the Cat. You have all these other little like other characters you can introduce. So you see
a lot of the characters I really don't know. I mean, of course I know the Bat. You know for some reason all the guys get turned on by a cartoon hedgehog mixed with bat.
Yeah.
All right, that's not weird at all.
Right.
And then, I also know about the alligator?
Yeah, the alligator. There's a chameleon. There's like a bee. There's all kinds of creatures and characters. There's also a hedgehog from the future.
And see, I feel like you can just put them all in one movie, right? You don't have to keep just doing it on the next movie, the next movie. I feel like you can just dump all that in one movie.
Yeah, and that would be the next movie, and then you end it. Honestly, I kind of feel like this should have been the end, because this was kind of peak. You know what I mean? Like you have them flying around in space. They went Super Saiyan. We got a Dragon Ball Z movie before Dragon Ball Z.
That's true. But I mean, to be fair, we knew Amy was coming.
Yeah.
We kind of when I saw the hammer, I was like, oh, that's Amy.
Yeah. It's going to be real interesting to see how long they go with this franchise. I kind of see it. I really do kind of see it becoming the next Fast and Furious, where it's like, all right, the next movie, they're doing this. The next movie, they're doing this. First of all, these movies make money. A lot of people come to see them. A lot of kids, a lot of families. The theme of the movie is family.
Yeah, it did better than Mufasa.
Yeah, the theme of the movie is family, like Fast and Furious. They follow the same traits where they introduce a character and then he joins the team. I'm like, I see this being the next Fast and Furious franchise, because you can do You can just follow the video games at some point, right? Like you can have the hawk people show up and they snowboard or whatever, and then you can have. I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying like I see where Hollywood would take this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways they can take it.
Did you ever watch the Knuckles show?
You know what? I did. I don't remember much from it. You know, like what old girl from what's that? Jessica Jones.
Kristen Ritter. She was in the third movie.
Yeah, she was in the third movie.
Yeah.
What's her name? She was in the Knuckles TV show.
Was she?
Her and Kid Cudi. Yeah, it was her and Kid Cudi.
No, it was some other lady. It wasn't her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was some other like lady. She was a villain.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she didn't really have much to do in the Sonic movie though. Kristen Ritter.
She did. Yeah, they didn't really give her much to do.
It was kind of weird they introduced her because I'm like, okay, she's here, but like she's a pseudo bad guy, but not really because they're all trying to stop Robotnik and Shadow.
I thought she was a bad guy at first, to be honest with you.
It seemed like they tried to make her out to be, but then it's like, well, no, you have the Robotniks as the bigger villains. And something I appreciate is they really do stick to the source material because that whole plot line of like the old Robotnik wanting to destroy the world, that's straight from like Sonic Adventure 2. That's a straight plot point. That's a big game where Shadow's introduced. Like they basically follow that line. They get Shadow's backstory correct, right? And
that was the one thing I think everybody was concerned about. Like, are they going to do this right? Because
with Maria,
it's a dark story.
It is a dark story. They managed to translate it well without going too dark with it.
Yeah,
like you get what happens, but they didn't. I mean, they didn't do anything gruesome with it, which of course not. It's a kid's movie, but
true.
But they did do a good job there. What did you think of Shadow's voice? Like, what did you think of Keanu Reeves' Shadow?
I liked it.
Did you?
I was at first I was concerned, but I wasn't, because I think Keanu Reeves can do a good job when it comes to cartoon voices. It's not the first time he's played a cartoon voice before.
Yeah,
it's because he did it in Toy Story, and I kind of figured that he could probably pull that off, and he did. He pulled it off pretty good.
Right. I mean, his voice does match Shadow. I think I couldn't buy it as Shadow though. That's the thing. Like every time we talked, I was like, it's Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
I was just enthralled to the story.
Yeah. I mean, I feel that. I understand that. It's just for me, I was like, I don't know. I don't like him as Shadow. And it's funny because like Idris Elba is Knuckles, and you listen to Knuckles, and it's Idris Elba, right? Yeah. But I think what helps between those two characters is Idris Elba, the way Knuckles' dialect is, right? Knuckles talks in a certain way, and he phrases things differently, and like the words don't follow a normal sentence like a regular person would say, or like Sonic would say. So I think there's
like a Thor dialect a little bit.
Yes, and there's that extra layer of character in there that makes you kind of forget, like, oh, it's Idris Elba. It's obvious it's Idris Elba, but it kind of masks it a little bit, right? Shadow doesn't have that. Shadow talks like Sonic does, except like, a bit darker.
Yeah. I mean, I guess. It didn't really bother me. It didn't really bother me like that.
I understand that. I mean, it didn't kill the movie for me. It's just I think when I listen to him, it's like, okay, it's Keanu Reeves. You know what I mean? It just doesn't, like, the suspension of disbelief kind of goes away. I didn't hate it. It's just that's my little nitpick. You know what I mean?
Oh no, I understand. Like I say, I was too enthralled into the actual story and stuff like that. So that's what kind of got me. Yeah, that's what really got me going.
No, the movie. I mean, it was a great movie though. It was fantastic across the board. Like,
the Sonic movie was really good. I'm just a little bit concerned with the future of it, and hopefully they don't overdo it and overindulge it. Yeah, but it's Hollywood, so they'll probably do it anyway.
Yeah, it's just like hopefully we don't get like 17 more movies of this or whatever, or like. The Knuckles spinoff show. I wanted to talk about that for a second because the Knuckles spinoff show, it was a really good spinoff for the reason of you didn't have to watch that show at all to understand the next movie, right? It's honestly all it explains is why Wade was left in charge of the Master Emerald. That's all it explains, and you don't even need that explanation, right? Because it just fits in the goofiness of this world that like, oh, Knuckles totally would leave it with like Wade for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But the Knuckles show is just about him and Wade going on this little adventure, and Wade's trying to prove himself as a warrior or whatever, and that's it. So by the end of it, if you've seen Sonic 3, you're like, oh, that's why that one scene happens. But
when he goes to get they go and get the emerald.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I already knew that part. I already knew that. I had just claimed to one person, but that's about it.
yeah, exactly. And it's just, again, you don't need to watch the movie to really get it. You're like, okay,
Nah,
this
you
is
really
part of
don't.
the bit. Honestly, when Knuckles was like, oh, I left it with a warrior, I thought it was going to be the dog. I was fully expecting the dog.
You know what? Me too. I thought that was gonna be it too.
Yeah, I think that would have been hilarious. I like how they gave the dog captions too.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
cute. I like that.
yeah, I just want my humans back.
Like I said, the cast is very endearing. Everyone's endearing. You know, they keep doing it. They up the ante in each movie.
They really do.
This is probably the best trilogy that we've had in a long time.
Yeah, and it's
And
crazy. It's
off
crazy
the top of my head.
because this almost didn't happen, right? Like they almost screwed this up royally.
Oh yeah, that artwork thing with that.
Yeah,
Oof, that famous Sonic trailer.
yeah. They almost messed this up so bad, and then like, look, because they listened to people and they fixed it. Now they have a trilogy franchise, a good franchise that makes money. This movie made $338 million in the box office off a budget of $122 million. So,
Oof.
and I mean that's since December, right? We're only in January. It's only been out a couple weeks. So,
Oh yeah.
so
Oh yeah.
yeah. So I mean, it's only going to make more money.
I think it's probably good. I think it's probably made its best work over the holidays. I don't know if it's gonna make as much more money because
That's fair.
everybody's back to school now.
That's fair. But you know what? Streaming's going to pick it up.
Yeah, streaming will
Pretty
pick that up big time.
Yeah. Because you know what? Your favorite movie, Red One,
Oh,
it didn't do so well in theaters, James, but let me tell you, them streaming numbers, them Amazon Prime numbers.
yeah.
The,
I mean, well, that's where the movie should have been at. It should have stayed on Amazon Prime. It should have had no business. Like movies like that should stay at home.
yeah.
You know, those are streaming movies. Just what's that other movie? The Nutcracker. Nutcrackers with Ben Stiller, where he's looking after these kids that have been sheltered,
No,
and then
I missed
he has
that
to
one.
take care of these kids on the farm. That's a Christmas movie. That was a streaming movie. Got buried. It's a streaming movie.
That come out this year?
Yeah, that came out this year.
Oh.
And it got buried on a streaming service.
Yeah, I completely
On
missed that
Hulu.
one.
Yeah, it's on Hulu. And what's that other movie? That horrible Jack Black movie. That horrible Jack
Oh
Black
yeah,
Christmas movie.
Dear Santa. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the movies like that should always be on streaming. So I'm not surprised that the rare one's doing better on streaming than they did in movie theaters because that's where it should have been.
Yeah. Honestly, The Rock should probably just make his own streaming service at this point. Just make your $7 streaming service and then put all your movies on there.
He could.
Make it $7 a month. It's all there. The idea is already there. He's probably got it in the works already, or maybe not because he probably wants his stuff as valuable as possible.
Who knows? The Rock just makes stuff up as he goes, and it's
true.
messing up WWE and it's messing up movies.
That is true. He's getting too big for his little wrestling britches.
Yeah, he's starting to kind of mess up stuff. And that's a story for another day on that one.
Gotta go fast.
On the go or on the run with Jacob and James.
We can talk about liking real quick. This was just a real quick review for it.
All right.
I like the movie. The songs didn't do it for me. Lin-Manuel, you should have just stuck with doing Moana.
Yeah.
But I understand Lion King probably paid more money.
Right.
But the songs didn't do it for me. What else? The story was good. It was very dark, very grim.
I feel like it has to be.
What's that?
I feel like it has to be, considering it's the story of Scar, right? It's kind of an origin story for Scar, so it's not going to end well for one of the lions.
Yeah, it's a very dark story. The trailer puts it off as if Mufasa is this troublemaker that does all these things. And
Right.
Scar is supposed to be the guy. Totally not the truth. Watch it for yourself.
Slander.
Scar is a big you know what bag, and you learn that from the jump. He's a wuss bag for one. He's a very wuss bag. He starts out as just a good person, but he's a big sucker. He doesn't know how to do anything. He's a whiny. He's a baby. He can't do anything. He's crap. He's garbage. And Scar's father didn't like Mufasa because Scar help. He saved them. Lions, they don't like strays. They don't like stray lions.
Yeah.
If you're a stray lion, they don't protect you. This is his whole story. I don't want to spoil it in this case you do see it.
Right.
Because it really is a good story. The problem that I had with it was too much foreshadowing. I mean, okay, we get it. Scar one day is going to kill Mufasa. We don't need to, you don't have to keep foreshadowing that. It was one part in the movie where Mufasa was about to hang off a cliff and Scar puts his hands into Mufasa's hand.
Wow.
And he saves him. I'm like, okay, we get it. And it's the second time they kept doing it in the movie. And they kept doing this foreshadowing. What else? By the movie being so dark, you had to interlude Timon and Pumbaa.
Yeah.
But I tell you,
I did hear about that.
They are the most annoying part of this movie.
That's what I've heard. Right, because it's like, what is it? Is it Rafiki telling the story?
Yeah, he's telling the story to Kiara.
Yeah.
And man, when I tell you, these two animals are the most annoying animals that you will ever see during the movie.
Yeah.
I get why they introduced, because you're trying to you don't want to scare kids.
Right.
You don't want to scare the hell out of your kids because the story is so dark. So you're trying to add some levity to it with some laughter.
Yeah.
But when they come into the picture, they just drown. They just mess up the whole story because you want to hear more about the story, but you can't because they try to crack jokes like a Saturday Night Live. And it doesn't work. It does not work. If they can find some way to take them out of it, the movie is an A+ movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could have just had like Kiara commenting or something, right? Or you could have just not had them. I feel like that you had them in there because like you're trying to do like a pseudo Lion King 1.5 thing.
Yeah, well, is that, and also like I said, you're trying to add levity to it because it's so grim and dark, and the kids you don't want to scare the hell out of them.
Then why make this dark movie then? You know what I mean? It's like
true.
No one needed the Mufasa origin story.
True. You got a point. You got a point.
That's really weird.
But oh man, their interference in this, and none of the jokes landed. Like that's the part that shocked me because of the first Lion King movie. They were the best part of that movie.
Were they? I don't really remember them too much from the live action. Honestly,
I don't want to say how because they were the best part of that movie. Like they killed it. Like they looked like they were the only ones that really wanted to be there.
Yeah.
But then in this one, you just is like, what the hell, man? Just shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I mean, it's probably because when you think about it, their characters are so minuscule to the movie, right? So they probably came in for the day, recorded their lines, and then they were done. So, Even
Rafiki was looking like it was one part of the movie they cracked the joke, and Rafiki was like, I'm just gonna hang myself at this point. Is that y'all let me finish telling this story and shut the hell up. And y'all shut the hell up. And let me finish telling this story.
Oh, Rafiki.
God, man. So that's my only complaints about the movie. But the movie is a fine movie. It's a fine movie. The songs didn't really work for me. Too much foreshadowing and too much Timon and Pumbaa interludes.
It's not really a kids movie, but they try to frame it as a kids movie, or they try to make it okay for the kids. But really, it's a dark story. And the problem with prequels is they do the foreshadowing thing a little too much. And
too much.
I think that's what a lot of people have issues with, like these origin stories. Like I know, like the Han Solo movie kind of caught flack for that because, like, it shows him getting his gun in his jacket, and it's like, oh, do we really need to see how he got the gun in the jacket? But the same thing with this, when it's like, oh, they're foreshadowing like Scar murdering Mufasa with the "Long Live the King" moments. But it's like, did we really need? How many of these times did Scar? Do we need to see Scar do this to like, okay, we get it. He's going to let him die one day.
Yeah, we get it, man. We don't need to do that. You don't need to keep showing it. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, there's too many prequels that do that. You know what, Jacob? What we need to do? We need to make our own prequel.
Yeah.
A foreshadowing prequel.
Foreshadowing prequel.
Yeah, have a foreshadowing for you and Khadijah.
Okay.
Like, it's a story of you and Khadijah. And then you also, she hints about going to San Antonio on the trip. So I was like, foreshadowing.
Yeah, right.
Foreshadowing. Yeah, or you can do some Easter eggs of how you met me and Richard.
Yeah.
And have Regal in the background.
Yeah. Like, I'm walking out of one door, you guys are walking in, yeah.
Foreshadowing.
That's dumb. That's stupid.
It's stupid, right? It's stupid. Like, when you think about it, like, really, we get it.
Oh,
we get it, man. God, man.
Speaking of a prequel that doesn't really like bang you over the head with the foreshadowing moments, we watched Transformers 1. Yeah, over the break and stuff, and it was a good movie. But I
liked it. This is a very good movie.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't really recall that many like over the head, like, oh, he's gonna be Optimus. I guess there is, but it's not over beat you over the head with it. And I guess like the story was original enough to like, kind of take you away from that.
Oh yeah, like the fact that they were able to add all this juiciness within this movie, it was so good, man. I really, really loved it.
Yeah, and Megatron becoming evil, you feel bad about it, but also the whole movie, it is leading to that. Like that, D116 does not like Orion Pax at all in this film. Like he tolerates him as a friend. That's that's it.
Yep.
So
it was golden. I really enjoyed this movie. Honestly, it's probably my favorite for Transformer movie since the
Bumblebee.
Since made what Bumblebee?
Yeah, Bumblebee was really good too.
Yeah, honestly, that's my favorite one. Like this one, I love this one, Jacob. I'm telling you, I love the Transformers 1 movie, man.
It's a shame it's not going to get a sequel. It didn't do so well.
It might get one.
Yeah.
It did good enough. It did good enough to possibly get a sequel.
That is true. We'll see what happens. I know Hasbro is kind of like butthurt about it because they're like, we're not doing no more of these. But things change. I think
things always change.
They still got the Transformers G.I. Joe crossover thing coming out, so... If you still got faith in that, you got to have faith in Transformers 1. Come on.
Yeah.
Mufasa, quick! Transform and roll out!
On the go, we're getting arrested with Jacob and James.
Well, speaking of cinematic universes and crossovers, so did you hear your boy from Sony, the head of Sony? And he was telling his reason, the reason why Madam Web didn't do good.
Yeah, I heard about it. I think. What did he say, James? What did he say?
He was saying that it was the critics' fault, and the movie's really not that bad. It's a good movie, and no one gave it a chance because of the critics.
I halfway agree with him, but Madam Web is a poor example of that.
That's a poor example. Poor example.
Yeah.
Like, you could possibly make a case for Morbius, possibly.
Yeah.
You could possibly make. I take that, but I can't make no case for Crater. But you could possibly make a case for all the other movies.
Yeah.
Venom, I get it.
Yeah.
Madam Web is historically and will be culturally the most horrible comic book film that has been ever made
in the modern day. I feel like if you put that movie out in 2000, it probably would have done better. It feels like a 2000 movie, doesn't it? Like it just feels like one of those. I don't know. Like they barely took the source material and made a movie out of it. Like it was around those times when they were still doing that. That's what it feels like.
There was so many things in this movie.
Yeah,
that I could go back to again. And I could pinpoint to you how horrible this movie is.
No, I know. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying.
It is the most ridiculous film that has been ever made. For whatever reason, bad ADR, bad script writing, bad costumes, bad the fact that you had a dude wearing a line. Dude had a spider web costume on. But it wasn't Spider-Man.
Yeah, not even web swinging.
In the jungle. I'm not even talking about that idiot.
Oh, those guys.
I'm talking about the jungle people. The jungle people, they had this man looking like a whole Spider-Man. Like you know what they look like? A made at home costume.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was made in the jungle. Yeah.
Made in the jungle, costume of a spider. I said, you guys just really, really, really trying to hit this Spider-Man so much. But you're hitting that Spider-Man, but you won't give a Spider-Man.
Yeah. Well, then they turn around and be like, well, we could have used him the whole time. We just didn't think people would accept a different. Like they would have accepted it. They would have accepted it if it wasn't Tom Holland, if it was anybody else, if it was a new actor. They would have been like, oh, hey, there's a Spider-Man here. Okay, cool. Like you could have teased the identity of the actor for years. Like you could have just had a guy in a Spider-Man costume, because if you're doing it from the point of the view of the villains, you don't need to show Peter Parker. You just need to show Spider-Man swinging around, beating them up or whatever. Or like, maybe they win a fight, they lose a fight, and then whatever happens, the movie ends. You're setting up Sinister Six, whatever. But like, you don't need a Peter Parker. You can just have a guy in a spider suit. I was saying that for years.
I want you to mark this day down, Jacob. January 8th, 2025. 10 years from now, they will make a documentary about this movie and about this universe.
I hope so. I want a documentary on the Sony Spider-Man universe because I want to know the inner workings behind these films. Like what led to like some of the decisions. I do want that to be exposed, and I do want to know. Like I want to know who screwed up what interference, like why did these movies happen the way they do? You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to the documentary, honestly.
It's going to be a documentary, and we will sit down and we will talk about this documentary. I don't know where I'll be in this world. I don't know if I'll be in a wheelchair. I don't know whether I'll be a paraplegic. I have no idea.
James,
but I know that we are going to talk about this film. We are going to talk about this universe. It has to be studied.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you. I'm ready for the documentary to come out, like, because there's something behind the scenes that nobody knows about. That's the cause for this. I want to know why.
Like, I mean, come on, man.
Because
come on.
I mean, you can't do. It's almost impossible to do like in the modern times. It's almost impossible to make a comic book movie without being pretty lore accurate. And they somehow like exceed it. Well, I guess they do like kind of get most of the lore correct, but just like the execution of it, you know what I mean? It's very strange what they did.
And the fact that you blaming everybody else except the person in the mirror.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
What? Come on, baby. What we doing?
Right?
What we doing?
I don't know. And then, the Spider-Verse movie is having trouble, or I guess it's not really having trouble. I don't know what's going on with that movie. People are afraid because it keeps getting pushed back.
Well, okay, so let me start on that because your Spider-Man Miles Morales, he's out here being weirdo.
He is being weird.
He's being a weirdo right now.
But you know what?
You got that going on.
My answer to that is just recast him. Just he's a voice like you get the Miles get the Miles Morales streamer to voice the guy. You've seen that guy. He does the live streams. Get him. He's voicing a character in the Spider-Man cartoon on Disney Plus. He's already voicing a character there. Disney's already paying him. Just hire that guy.
Well, first of all, have you heard about the weird stuff he's done?
Yeah, he's been really weird because Haley Steinfeld got engaged, and then he tried to say he was going to date the Liz Allen actress, but she's been married or she's been dating some guy for the last 4 years.
And he had a picture of her on the Instagram.
Yeah, he's gotten really weird about things, which is why I'm just like, recast him. Just fire him, recast him. He's a voice. Get rid of him. That's it.
He's also over it.
I am over it. Because people are like, oh, what are they going to... It's the freaking King the Conqueror bullcrap again, where it's like, what are they going to do? Recast him. Just fire him.
Oh, man.
Why are we acting like this?
Just recast him.
I don't know. There's no other... what are we going to do? Recast.
I mean... Jacob. I mean, to be fair, he is a very prominent voice. Once you hear that voice,
no,
you think about Miles Morales.
He is, but you can get the guy who voices Miles for the video games, because I think it's a different guy. Get him, or get Donald Glover. Didn't Donald Glover? Well, Donald Glover would be too much of a.
Yeah, he's already playing a prowler. Yeah,
and also his voice is very. You do have to match the same tone and register that this guy's got, but it's not impossible. It's not impossible. And also, if it is a little different, so what? It's a movie about multiverses and time. You're gonna explain time moved a little bit, so he aged up.
Hell, by the time I made this damn movie, he gonna be.
Yeah,
his voice gonna be growing any damn way.
Yeah, it's if the third movie comes out, 2027, 2028, whatever they're expecting, 2028, it would have been 10 years from the first one. Because the first one was 2018, and then 5 years later, we finally got the second one. That's kind of why I'm not concerned with they're pushing it back. It's like, okay, well, there's 5 years between the first and second one. If there's 5 years between the second and third one, that's understandable. What's not understandable is the fact that you tease this movie comes out, next year we're putting the second part out, and then you didn't follow up. That's where you guys screwed up. You should have just been part one, part two is coming soon.
Well, the thing also, too, when you do these movies that It's the ends on the cliffhanger. Their first one didn't end on the cliffhanger.
You're right. It was solid. One story, and then
it was a story being told.
Yeah.
You know? So when you do these cliffhanger movies, which I don't like cliffhanger movies, because this is what happens when you get cliffhanger movies. This is what, you want to see the ending of this. I hate cliffhanger movies. I hate that stuff, man. Like the Batman. The Batman is taking damn near 20 years to do.
Oh, yeah.
Well, but at least I could say the movie ended. It didn't end on a cliffhanger.
No.
It ended.
You're right. And apparently Matt Reeves is also going through a divorce, which is why things are being as slow as they are. So there's some personal reasons behind it.
I think we talked about that last.
I don't think. No, we didn't. We didn't. I just learned about this.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He's been kind of like going through it.
Yeah.
So
there's reasons as to why he hasn't really been able to work on the script. So, and that makes sense. But you're right.
I know everybody's kind of like starting their own rumors about what's been going on lately, and which that's a whole nother story. I think that's a whole nother podcast. You can dig on that.
That's true.
But like cliffhanger movies, man. So that's what happens when you do these cliffhanger movies.
Yeah, people
wanted to see it now.
Well, and you should have announced it when you were mostly done with it, and I don't think they were. And that's the problem, because like the Spider-Verse movies, particularly, like the way the animation is, it does take some time, right?
Yeah, it does.
The spider people chase in that second movie took a year to animate alone.
I get it.
So it's like you probably should have had most of the film ready to go before announcing, like, next year we're gonna do it. And that's what bothers people. But to me, if it's pushed back a little bit, I mean, the longer they take on it, it's a double standard, right? Because it's like, okay, cool. The more time they get to take on it, good, because they can hammer it out and actually give us a good product. But also, it's like, well, you promised this movie like 3 years ago, so is anybody going to care by the time it finally comes out?
Oh yeah, people that care.
And then I
think people would care.
And now, I mean, if you would have put it out last year or the year it was supposed to come out, that was way before all this. The Miles Morales voice actor, Shamik, isn't it like Shamik Moore?
Yeah, Shamik Moore. Yeah,
that was way before Shamik Moore started doing weird stuff. So you could have released the movie, and then this never would have affected the production process. I don't even know if it really is affecting the production process.
No, it's not.
People are just assuming it is.
No, he's off Instagram. He's off Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, people are assuming it is, but I don't really know how much it is or not. And like I said, just recast. Just fire him if it's that big of a deal.
Recast, huh?
Yeah,
just like that. Just wash your hands up. Wash your hands up.
I mean, look at the freaking Star Wars movies. Like if they didn't like the product, they just fired the whole director entirely. So, like, the movie was done, and they got rid of the director. That's what happened with the Han Solo movie. It was Chris Lord and Phil Miller.
Yeah, Phil Miller.
Yeah, those two.
I think so.
Yeah, the Lego movie people. They originally were working on Han Solo. Disney, for whatever reason, didn't like what they were doing, fired them, and got the other guy.
Yeah.
Or even the actor. I think it was supposed to be a different actor. They got rid of him, and they replaced him with whoever played Han Solo in that movie. I don't know. I think he was supposed to be an up-and-coming guy, and I don't think I've ever seen him in a movie since.
So we all know now. From now on, Jacob was like, recast. Anything that happens, just recast.
Well, not anything that happens, but if it's really that big of a deal, and in terms of like workplace relationships, I mean, your lead voice actor is kind of being weird to your other lead voice actor. Yeah. It's not like Haley Steinfeld is a side character. She is.
Oh, yeah. She's pretty prominent.
Yeah, she's prominent in those films. She's a love interest of Miles Morales to some degree. So it's like, yeah, if it's being weird and you're causing like this weird tense. I mean, they're voice actors, right? So the good thing is they don't actually have to be in the same room to work together. They don't even have to record at the same time. But that kind of does affect it sometimes, because they do record voice actors together because you want that natural flow. And if that affects your production, then I don't know, recast.
No, you're right. I mean, like I say, no, you're totally 100% right. It's just I'm kind of sitting on my hands right here, just waiting on the Spider-Man movie to come out. You know what I'm saying? That between that and Batman is just like, come on, man. You had ample opportunity to get a script done for Batman. I understand you're going through a divorce. That's not easy. But, all these different things, you're opening the door for rumors, the people start rumors, all those stuff. Just get it done.
Yeah.
You know, get all this stuff done.
Highly agree. Just do it.
You know.
But you know, I mean, we don't work in Hollywood, right? We don't know what's going on.
No, we don't, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I wish I did.
Spider-Man gets the girl.
On the Gold Podcast with Jacob and James.
It's freaking rad, brother.
Rad!
That was a major detour. Did you still want to talk about Nosferatu?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, let's get into Nosferatu. You saw it. I didn't. I don't care about spoilers. Just let me know how the movie was.
Okay. You don't care about spoilers, huh? Well, it's nothing to be spoiling on. It's just it's an ancient, ancient vampire from back, back in the 1920s. He's the first of his kind, first vampire. I think everybody's used to that slick back, sexy, fine Dracula with the voice and Transylvania and all that good stuff. But this vampire is totally different. And what's his name? Bill Skarsgård?
Bill Skarsgård.
He loses himself in this role, man. The prosthetic makeup they put on him was amazing.
That's what I've heard.
He did such a good job with it.
That's what I've heard. I heard he did some kind of like, I don't know, he learned how to do some like ballerina death dance or whatever to incorporate how Orlok, that's his name, right? Orlok? Yeah, to incorporate how Orlok moves. I heard he learned like some sort of death chant to like incorporate in like how he speaks. He doesn't do the death chant, but like it's how he like transformed his voice to like sound like Orlok, or like what he wanted Orlok to sound like.
Yeah,
I also heard.
Yeah, well, sure.
I also heard there was a vampire penis in this movie.
Yeah, somewhat, kind of. Yeah, you can barely see it. You can barely see it. They don't try to make it too prominent in the films because you can get in trouble.
Yeah,
because that'll pass the rating.
Right.
And they'll become like X-rated, so you can't show too much of that.
Right.
They show like a small glimpse of it, and
I see.
Is what it is. Emily Rose Depp.
Johnny Depp's daughter.
Yeah. Yep, Johnny Depp's daughter. The big forehead. She has a very big forehead. Jesus Christ, man. It's like y'all couldn't hide some of that hair in a little bit. Wee, man. But she's great in here. She got naked a lot. No, she didn't get naked a lot. I'm just kidding. It's a show. She only shows her boobs like in the last part of the movie.
Oh,
yeah, that's when it starts getting all raunchy.
You don't see that. You don't see that much nowadays in movies.
No, you don't.
You don't see topless scenes
in
anymore.
here. Aaron Taylor Johnson, he does a good job in here as well. That other up his stock. Nicholas Hoult, he's really good in here.
Mm-hmm.
Willem Dafoe doesn't come in the second half of the film.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he doesn't come in the second half of the film. It's like he doesn't have a crazy low screen time, but he's on like the back half of the film. It's all him. And I'll tell you the most disturbing part that was of this movie. And remember, we talked about this because you said, remember about Peter and the rat situation?
Oh, yeah.
You could definitely tell it was all AI rats just running around.
Mostly CGI, yeah.
It was all, it's AI. All CGI rats. You can definitely tell. You can definitely tell, man. I looked at one of them real closely. I was like, that's CGI. That's a CGI rat.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, they were still scary and creepy as hell because as he ascends upon this town, he's bringing this plague and he's killing all these people. And that was the part that was still so creepy and creepy that all these people that were dying over this plague because he's transcending. He's coming to this town, to get Emily Rose Depp, and it is man, the amount of deaths and caskets that has been drawn up for these people is sad.
Oh wow!
And Aaron Taylor Johnson loses his mind because Nicholas Hoult is his friend, so they stay over at his house, and Aaron Taylor Johnson's wife ends up getting sick, ends up getting bit, and then all kills the kids and his wife, Aaron Taylor Johnson. So he ends up losing his damn mind.
Oh wow!
It was really good.
It's a tragedy. Yeah,
I would say the first half is better than the middle, and then the third act is when it picks up. the middle scene is when it kind of gets a little long because I was kind of dozing off a little bit. I said, okay, now let's pick it back up.
Yeah,
let's pick it back up here, and it picks up in the third half.
That makes sense. I mean, it doesn't seem like an action-packed movie, right? It's not.
No, it's like
Orlok's not murdering people like John Wick style or anything like that. It's not. I wouldn't expect it to be super actiony, but that's interesting. That's cool. Did you know that William Dafoe played Orlok before? He played.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was Nosferatu in a movie from the 2000 called Shadow of the Vampire.
Oh, I think I remember the name, but I just never saw the movie.
Yeah, but he played Orlok. He was in the makeup and everything, and yeah.
Is it a movie like you want to see? Nosferatu?
I am interested in Nosferatu. Yeah, I am interested in watching the movie. It looked really good. The trailer looked really good. I've heard a lot of really good things about it. So I am gonna watch this eventually.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure you probably watch it by yourself. I'm pretty sure DJ ain't trying to.
Yeah, no, I don't think she's really interested in watching this. Nosferatu.
Yeah, I don't think she's interested in that.
Well, before we get out of here, James, did you see that clip of the guy who like shot himself on a podcast?
No, I saw Dover Toasted. They were Corey was talking about it. I mean, I haven't clicked the video of him talking about it yet, but I saw like the highlight. It said dude shoots himself in the studio.
Yeah, it's like some rapper from years ago who got famous when he was a kid, apparently. So I guess now he's just trying to coast on the interview fame or whatever. But he's like itching his leg, and he's got a gun in his pocket because he can't put it in a holster.
Yeah, like, well, thought I put it in the holster?
Yeah, but he's got it straight in his pocket. And I think he goes like the move to adjust it, and then he fires it on accident. And I think he shoots like one of the producers. Like one of the producers got shot, and then he grazed himself from the muzzle flash. Yeah. And then like the face he makes, James, is like a toddler who just got in trouble for something. Like, that I messed up face.
Yeah, I saw his face. Like I said, I didn't click on the video, but I saw his face.
Yeah.
And he looked like, oh my God, did I just do that? Oh man, that's hilarious.
Yeah, so
I mean, that's not hilarious for the producer. Hopefully, the producer's okay. Did the producer he's still alive, right?
Yeah, I think he's still alive. I mean, he just got like shot in the leg or something. From what I understand, from what I hear, I don't know if it's fully true or not. But it's just like,
can you imagine just doing an interview and you get shot in the leg? Like,
yeah,
James, my leg is itching.
Yeah, right.
He raised King David shooting you in your leg.
I know, that would be ridiculous. That would not be good.
Oh, King David just shoots Jacob and shoots James and Jacob in the legs. Like,
there's a safety for a reason. Like it's something, man. But,
that's hilarious.
The good thing is, we're remote, so we don't have to worry about that.
No,
we don't have to worry about accidentally shooting each other in the leg. But I
go like that. Good sound effect. I like that one. Oh, that's hilarious.
It's something, man. So I just wanted to leave you with that before we get out of here. I think we've spent enough time.
I'm gonna have to watch that. I'm gonna watch the video. I'm gonna watch that video.
Yeah, go watch the video. Go watch the whole interview. See what it is.
Well, I would check that out.
That's why you don't film your podcast. That's why you just do all audio.
So what if you be a gunshot in the studio? Like, what the hell was that in the background?
Yeah, you can just cut it out. You don't have video evidence. You can just
a pool of blood in the studio.
Yeah,
just a pool of blood on the floor or the carpet.
That's something, man. It's
wild.
wild.
Man.
So
that's great.
Well, there we go. First recording of 2025 is down and over. We got many more. Man, it was a good show. It was a good, fun show to start off the year, I think.
Oh yeah, I think so, man. It was a solid show.
Yeah. So we'll keep the fun rolling next week when we return. So
yep.
Without further ado, everybody, I'm on the go. James is on the go. We're all on the go. We're out of here. That's all we have for today. Thank you for listening, and if you would like to join the conversation, you can email us at onthegopod2023@gmail.com.
You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at On The Go with Jacob and James.
You can find James on Instagram at
James9794.
You can find me on Instagram at jacobdantone.audio. James is on the go.
Jacob's on the go.
We're all on the go.
Better stop Bye.